Back in early 2015, I fell in love with a chateau I found online. I then had to convince my other half to give up our London life and move to rural France. To my surprise, she said yes, and a year later said yes again at our wedding at the chateau we now called our home. It's just us two and our husky Lightning, and now of course a few animals who seem to have joined us along the way.
It's such a beautiful place to live, so we decided to share it with everyone.
It's obviously a lot of hard work for just us two.
It's not always a fairy tale, and we don't always get it right.
But it's all fantastic fun along the way, so we bring this chateau back to life for others to enjoy as much as we do. Follow us, Angelina and Phil, along with the highs and lows of our chateau life. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Chateau Life. If you don't know what we've been doing, we've been doing our Morning Salon. We have been renovating that from scratch along with our other, of course, daily tasks. So if you are new to the channel or returning after a long break, that's where we are, and I'm just going to show the progress of that. Of course, if you are new or have not yet subscribed to the channel, it's completely free. Hit the subscribe button below the video, and of course then hit the bell button for notifications as and when new videos come out, if you enjoy videos about living and renovating in a French chateau. Now, let's get on to what's been going on, and then of course what I've got to do, because it's a little bit of an annoyance today, because it's got to be right. I have to do the finishing touches to the ceiling to be able to then finish up, get this tower scaffolding down, and start literally the last parts. It's the coving time. This is the profile that we have decided to go for. It's big, it helps cover a lot, and obviously in a big room, you want something big so it can be seen from the floor. Here's a slightly better view. The ceilings are really quite high in this room. You've seen from many of the videos and seen how high we are to get decorated. So we had to go big, or certainly as big as we could without breaking the bank. And this is what we chose. Today, we're going to start getting it up. This is the glue we're going to be using, and I imagine at this point a few of you might work that out why. This is specifically for polystyrene, because the coving is polystyrene. As you can tell, by holding it up with one hand. And it was a fairly conscious decision. I'd love to put proper plaster cornicings back in, but it's very intricate, it's a lot of work. And to be honest, you wouldn't notice. You really wouldn't, not at the height these ceilings are. So it's a lot of extra work and money for not a lot of extra reward. And it does make it easy to fit due to its weight. So let's give this a go. Right, time to read some instructions though. The reason why we use specific polystyrene glue is because you can't have any sort of chemicals, I forget what they are, but there's basically got to have a certain chemical free, otherwise it'll just eat the polystyrene, hence the right one. Basically no solvents, that's right. Right, best work, look at this properly. Oh dear, this is where the chaos is going to come in. That's the drying time, 5 minutes. I can see this becoming a slight race to the finish. All right, good example of just how high up these ceilings are. Let's get a better look of what this is going to look like. And of course, the first one that we're putting on is actually going to be quite easy because it's just a straight piece and then it has to be joined after that. Let's see what it'll look like. I like that. You see it right there? Yeah. Oh, okay. To avoid getting any of my swearing on camera, I did that off camera because the first bit, and it's up, made a bit of a mess, so I sort of wiped that up. And as you can see, because of the ceiling is not particularly even, there's going to be a very small gap there because it's just too much for the bend to handle. It just pulls the glue away, but that's fine. That's for caulking. But I've got to think about doing that. However, I just want that to set properly in the meantime because I don't want to knock that out of place while mucking around with this corner to get the right measurements, etc.
So whilst Phil is doing the coving up above, I will be attaching this piece of wood, which is part of the skirting board that's missing. And it's quite actually ugly in there, and obviously it needs to be replicated to match the skirting board. So I'm simply going to attach it here, and it's just a leftover piece that I found here in one of our barns, and we cut it to size as much as possible. And once Philly has attached it with a staple gun, I will be able to then fill it with a lot of filler, step by step, to try and fill it and replicate the corner that is currently missing because of, well, bad cutting over there initially because it wasn't that 45-degree angle, but also to make it match.
Right.
Just
Yes, there we go. Just get a couple more in down here.
So Philly has given me this really strong and hard setting wood filler that's specially made for repairing angles. So it's going to be rock hard, and that will provide a really good base. And it comes with a hardener, and of course I have to mix the A and B together, but I've got nothing to mix with except perhaps in a small little yogurt tub. So I've set Philly the task of eating the yogurt so that I have a tub to mix in. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Is it yummy?
It's a tough job, but someone's got to step up, you know? I'll get through this.
No problems. Philly to the rescue.
Ordinarily, I wouldn't hesitate to basically inhale a yogurt. But I'm a bit not really that hungry, so actually this is quite a tough job.
Why do you think I gave it to you? I'm just filling a little bit of caulking in the stapled areas so they are not so prominent before I go on to the next stage and start filling the big part of the job. That way it's got a bit more time to dry and one step closer. So here is the mixture that I'm gonna mix so that it hardens, and the instructions were one big blob of the colored filler and a little tiny smidge of hardener. Time to mix it up. It feels like mousse, but like a hard version of mousse. And so there we are, all done, filled for now. Just we'll wait for it to harden overnight, before I can sand and paint, and also caulking is all done there too. So it's all smooth and literally waiting for me to return tomorrow.